Welcome to this episode of Judo Pod. Today we are joined by 2005 world champion and Olympic bronze medalist Dennis van der Heist of the Netherlands. Hey Dennis, how you doing?
Hello. Well, really nice to be in your podcast.
Thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, you do quite a lot of.
I was going to say you're on screen all the time. You're a media man at the moment, so it is very nice for you to join us.
Yes, well, I do a lot of television work in my home country, of course, in the Netherlands, and I'm really happy that it's also that I can combine it with some work for the IGF as well, because judo, is such a big part of my life. So it's really nice to be inside of the judo with the IGF.
How did you transition from? Oh.
No, and that was my girlfriend also.
Second guest.
Love it.
How did you actually transition between athlete to TV kind of personality? I guess what was the route there?
Wait 1 second. I think that it was quite natural, to be honest. If you do judo and you compete quite well, then you get some reaction, of course, from media. And especially in Holland, at the moment when we came up with my club, KNMU, it's the club from Haarlem. My dad started this. My dad was also my coach and a trainer. So we got quite a lot media attention because it was not only me who was competing very well, but a lot of people from my club as well. They all fought at the highest level. We just started like a bunch of friends with all a big, how do you say it? We wanted to conquer the world, to be honest. So there was a lot of press and media around that. And for me, that was the first moment that I realized that talking in front of camera, it felt quite natural. And then you get you're winning medals. So they ask you for television shows. And then slowly, more and more often, you get into shows that are not with the judogi anymore, but they ask you just because then you're like a famous person in your own country. And that developed. I quit professional judo when I was 33. Had a few chances of hosting television shows. So I thought maybe in 2 or 3 years and then the people forget about you. But that's now already 17 years ago.
Wow.
So, and I'm still working for television. So now definitely I can say that it's like a second career and not just something that came out of judo and that there was a spin-off for a few hours.
Do you think
or a few years.
Do you think you're more famous now, or do you think you were more famous when you're an athlete?
More people know me. But it's always fun when I speak to younger people, like when they're in their 20s, that most of them still know that I did judo. So, or they heard it from their parents or friends, or still. It's already been like I was world champion 20 years ago. But then if you speak to younger people and they still say, yeah, but you also did judo at the highest level. You were world champion and things that you see how much impact something like that has. So I do completely different television shows in Holland. It has nothing to do with sports. But then still people remember you as a sportsman, and that keeps on going. Also, if they maybe not even saw it live or with their own eyes, but they've heard it from parents or other people. So it's really funny. But with the television shows...
Have you got any of those television shows that are like particular standouts? Any ones that you've really enjoyed working on more than others?
Well, I'm now working on a program about injustice. So, like people who are in all kind of stuff, people who are, who had like injustice in their life. But if they go to a lawyer, or most of the time it costs them a lot of money. They don't have the money. They don't know where to go. If they go to a lawyer, he will say like, so the injustice is maybe for something like 3,000 euros. But if we like going to court for it, it will cost you 5,000. So just let it go. Yeah. And they feel like really, not only sad, but also,
it's almost like they're being punished as well, isn't it? It's like,
and
the reparations.
No, and they don't know what to do. So that's where we come in. I come in together with my team.
What do you
try
actually
to
do?
Solve it and fix it.
Do you? You are trying to actually fix it.
Yeah, no. At least we're always trying to find the counterpart. Mm-hmm. So the people who are like how do you call it?
Perpetrating
people who
the crime.
are like. The traitors or things like that.
Yeah.
And so we confront them. So that's when judo comes in, quite handy. Because
the big man comes in.
If they want something, then at least they know, like, okay, he could do a bit of judo. But we're confronting them and we're trying to solve the problem. So almost every day at the moment, because I'm making a new season, I'm running... around through all of the Dutch all places, to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west, to find those people, to confront them in front of the camera, and to see if they want to pay the money or that we can like arrange it. So that's the thing that I'm doing at the moment.
It's a pretty exciting route you've taken.
Exciting.
But also,
it is exciting, and it's really in the moment, because most of the time you can do it like one time. You have to do it good, and that's something that's you can compare it with the judo competition as well, because you have one chance.
Yeah.
And
do any of the perpetrators of the crime, do they recognize you? Are they like, oh my God, Dennis van der Heijst has come to catch me?
Yeah, of course. So not everybody, but most of them, they know. But so they don't. So they know that I was a former judo player. But most of the part is that they know the programs I make.
Come in.
So and if we really know that somebody is how do you say it, a thief or something, then we go out with open camera. Sometimes we have those hidden cameras, stuff like that. But then still, if I come and I'm talking to somebody, then in 1 second they know, oh, I'm in that program. Yeah.
What's this career like compared to your athlete career? Like the highs of the athlete career, the winning the world title, the big medals, the big wins, and the adrenaline that comes with that.
Now hunting down criminals.
Yeah, well, hunting down criminals, or the $1 Million Island show that you did, or anything like that. What's it like in terms of?
I see a few parts of this. Is another program I make about heritage.
Yeah,
people who have problem with their heritage, and we're trying to solve it. Well, for me, I think the most important thing after my judo career was to find something that has also a bit of the same amount of energy and a bit of tension, and so I not only did judo, but I did music as a DJ as well.
Cool.
And,
what's your DJ name? DJ Ippon?
Yeah, I did DJ Ippon, DJ Dennis, DVDG, but also, of course, gewoon Dennis van der Geest, because I was not so busy with
the TV stuff,
playing music abroad, that my name was household name also for a lot of companies. So I did all kinds of stuff, but because you can compare it with a judo competition as well, because you're standing there all by yourself and you try to so there are people around, and with every mistake, or you can make it like a real good one, a really good competition, or a really good DJ set, or really good footage for your programs, or you can like mess it up in a split second. And that's the same. So not the same, but you know, it's the tension that you feel when you're fighting competitions as well. And I think for a lot of athletes, it's really difficult if they had like a real big career in sports and they finish on Friday, and then on Monday they will come into some sort of job where there is completely none of this energy anymore, and you don't get like this feeling, this competition feeling. And I'm really happy that I'm still like working in businesses where you have this energy of life, that you have to give everything, do your utmost at one moment, if it's with a camera or if it's playing as a DJ. So that is, for me, that feels really nice. You know, I'm a judoka, but if you ask me, I think I'm more an entertainer than a judoka. And because I always loved when I was doing judo as well, to entertain the people. And I think that's also, you know, I'm now as a commentator, of course, I'm watching with the IGF tour. I watch a lot of judo. And we all love those judokas that give that little extra, not only that really beautiful ippon, but you want to see that they're like entertaining the stadium as well.
Like and the showmanship and...
Yes, I always love that.
For us.
Yeah.
Do you when you're commentating?
It has to be in.
When you're commentating, do you miss? Do you ever look at it and you're like, oh, I really want to be out there. I really want to be doing that again. Is there a little part of you that misses it?
Yeah. Well, you have that many times. But the fun part is that judo is like really, how do you say it? Honest. Because if you go to a judo mat, and if I look at the side and I look, I would have done this or that, or and standing there in the stadium and you're watching that heavyweight and you think like, well, he's not that good. I think if I train a little bit, maybe I could still win. And then when you're on the judo mat and somebody is like pulling on your judo gi, after 5 minutes you remember like, No,
bit of a humbling
those
experience.
days are over. Yeah. No, you always feel like, so from the outside, you can always watch and you can see like, okay, I would do this or I would do that. The last time I was doing randori, I was fighting a guy who was, I think, 21 or something. And he was like really pulling me over the whole tatami. And I saw in his eyes after 2 minutes, was this guy really world champion? But it was a long time ago. Yeah. No, but that's it. Yeah. And you know, I still love watching judo. My kids are doing judo. I still love doing judo. But it's a hard sport, you know. It's not that easy to go to a judo session. So you're watching it and you think like, oh, that was a great time. But it's over. I'm really happy that I have a different career at the moment.
But what's it like for you now watching your kids do it then? What kind of feelings do you have when you watch them? Are they in competition, or is it more just recreational for them?
My eldest son is into coaching and training of our 15 and 18. He's 21.
21.
He was Dutch champion in the junior time, but for him, fighting competition, sometimes he thought that was a bit difficult for him. But he's as a trainer and a coach, he's doing absolutely fine. He has a really good judo mind and I think a really good view. And all those kids, they love to work with him. So that's really fun to see. My other son is 18. And, he's doing everything for it. He wants to get a career.
Oh, really?
And in judo, And I don't know if it's possible. I think he is talented enough. But there are, of course, a lot of things.
It's the outside factor that
important.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says like, if you stay in the IGF as a commentator, hopefully I will be there once, and that you can do the commentating on my.
Do you think you'd be able to commentate this contest though?
Well,
Sweaty
then you
hands.
come at the point, I think, the way that my dad was, of course, my coach and my trainer, how he did this, not only with his pupils, but especially with his own kids. I think he has done an amazing job, because if you have kids and they're competing, and it doesn't matter if it's at the high or low level, as a parent, you're watching it and you feel the tension, and in your whole nature says, okay, you don't want your kid to be hurt. But you also know he has to fight there, and so it doesn't help him if you will say every time, no, and look out or things like that. No, and judo is a hard sport, so I also know what I have to do to get to this level. So that makes it really difficult. So I'm the dad on the side. Sometimes I do a bit of coaching, but I'm really happy that they have their own coaches and their own trainers, so that I'm on the side.
You're not fully involved. Yeah.
No, because it's so much. Here I am with my two sons. Yeah, really nice in our own sports club. Yeah. So the guy in the middle is Finn. He's 18, and on the side is Björn. He's now 21. And it's really fun that they're both into judo, of course, because our whole family is in.
Yeah.
They're
all supporting each other, isn't it? But I caught something from another podcast you'd said, and it was, I think you said something, to be successful as a top athlete, you need to have that strong support from your parents, but also with your parents, it's a disaster.
It's a disaster. Yeah, that's one of the. That's a real one of the quotes of my dad, that everybody knows this quote, and it's true, because you need those parents when you're younger. They have to drive you through the whole country to all the competitions. If you have to make your weight, the whole family has to work for it, and so there's a lot of stuff going on. So you really need those parents if you want to have your kids compete at a high level. But there are also the parents that, they think that they know it better. They think you have to do this or you have to do that. So for a coach and a trainer, it's also really important if you have those parents that are really close. Well, for us, it was, of course, sometimes it was strange, because when we had a training, and I had the training from my dad, and then when we came home, and the training didn't went well, or there was stuff going on, or you had argument about what you would do. And then in the evening, we were sitting at dinner again, and then you could feel the tension or something. Most of the time, my mom would say,
definitely reflect on this. I've been through this so much.
Yeah. And my mom says, I don't care what you're discussing. If you discuss stuff, you do it on the tatami, and if you walk out of the dojo, then it's over, because I don't want this here in the house.
I mean, fair enough.
And then we were like, okay, yeah.
Everyone's sitting in silence.
Sit in silence. And you know how it works. And it's the same with my son now. He's 18, so sometimes he comes back from the training, and of course, if you're a parent who knows judo as well, or another sports, and your kid does it. So most of the time we're standing here, of course, and we're standing like, no, you have to do this, or you have to do yes. But I also always had to say, but you have your trainer and you have your coach, and I'm not the one. So I'm going to help you as much as possible. And already being like the son of a former athlete who competed at the highest level, that's also a lot of extra pressure.
Yeah, it's like a shadow almost there a little bit.
And there's an expectation, because everyone will be watching and being like, do you think he's going to be as good as his dad? There's that added thing. But also for some people that might be a motivation. Like, watch me.
We discussed this a lot. Because I think you also have to prepare somebody for that. And they already know. So everywhere, if we go in Holland, if we go out, most of the people know me. So they're used to that they have
that level
like
of attention.
a dad who will be recognized a lot. But you can feel that they have the for example, Finn just says like, I know this back name and I know people will watch me more, but I'm prepared for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my best, and hopefully I can make you proud. And I don't have the feeling that it's holding him back. I think he gets a bit more energy out of it. So then it's also And then it's okay, you know. So and I cannot change it. You know, you cannot change his name, or people know that it's my son. And
you're a judo family. You're a judo family.
Yeah, exactly.
Your dad, talking about showmanship earlier. Your dad, I remember, like, was a bit of a showman on the side of the mat when he was coaching for you. I remember actually, Jack, would you be able to pull up? I seem to remember when you won, I think, the 2005 Worlds. You both like absolutely
we loved a bit of extra entertainment. Yeah. And sometimes we make that joke about Gladiator. You know, or are you not entertained? Yeah. And
here we go. I think
because people buy tickets for it. You know, and sometimes
yeah. This is the. This is the final.
This is my 2005 final.
2005 Open Weight final. So this is Dennis against Tumenov. What was he like as an opponent, Dennis? Tumenov.
Yeah, really, really tough opponent and a really good judoka. And this guy won so much medals. And with a few finals. It was always close. It was a difficult fight, both for him as for me, because he was an extreme left-handed fighter. I was a right-handed fighter, and his style of judo, I kind of liked it, but sometimes he threw me to the ceiling as well. And I'm really happy that for me it was possible to do this a few times, and especially this one, of course. Because
here we go. Here it comes. Here comes the big.
I was going to get him to commentate his own fight here.
That'd be quite good. Did you want to do some commentary, Dennis? Go on.
Well, this was Ippon, I guess.
Easy Ippon, absolutely.
Look at your dad in the background. Your dad going, absolutely, there he is. That is this runs in the family. It runs in the blood, that celebration.
Yeah, it's good. Good to see. Yeah. Yeah, well, you have those opponents. I wrote down all my fights from when I was, I think, 14 years old or something. So I already thought Tumenov in my junior time. We were still like fighting for, what was it then, 86 or 95 kilos. So this is just somebody who was in my life for 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
In my competing career. And you have a few of them around, and on every competition you see each other. You have a lot of fights, and after my competition I met him a few more times, and then you have a normal chat, and because then that life is over. But it's fun to see that some of those people are so important in your whole career, because every time, not only Tumenov, but I have a Mikaline and a few others that you compete, on training camps, and you see each other so many times, and then they get like, really important people in your whole life. Yeah. And he's definitely one of them.
And what about when you're back commentating for the IGF? Because obviously you're back around in the judo community and now meeting the next generation of the top athletes that will have the same experience as you. What's that like?
Well, I love to be so close to the circuit that you could see those fighters. And the best part for me always is when we arrive in the venue and we have to walk through the warming up area. I always stand there for like 5 or 10 minutes just to look around. Everybody has his own movements and his own way of preparing for those competitions. You always see the same countries like 30 years ago. then you always had like the Japanese were in that corner and the Germans there and the French team is there and it's still, it's still the same. And you see the same faces.
Are there any like big differences? Are there any like in terms of the intensity of training or is there like a shift, do you think, since when you were competing?
I mean, the tours are a bit busier now.
Yeah.
Let's
Much busier. But in terms of
one of the biggest differences, I think, is now with this whole social media and things like that. Everything is posted. So I did not even know how Tumenov was training. So then somebody said to me like, yeah, but he's never doing weight training. I said, well, if I grab him, I know for sure he's doing weight training. And then somebody said, no, but he's like pulling rocks in a river, and he throws with rocks in a river. And well, I know for sure that if somebody would do this now, I would see it on the internet and I would know exactly what he was doing. But so the myth,
so it's like there's some myth, like myth and legend about it.
And that's gone. And for me, one thing that would be completely impossible to do, and what I see a lot of times now, is then when somebody is posting like that he won a final, then I see on the replies, in the comments, I see the guy who he beat like, oh, that was a good fight, but next time I will win or something. And I was, whoa, okay, they just fought each other, but. So it looks like it's more like a community together, and there are more. Yeah. They have more chances to speak to each other and to maybe to meet each other and to follow each other. And that was in my time. That was completely impossible, of course.
You reckon you'd have been?
I was going to say, yeah. So were the teams a bit more individual then? Because obviously you see a lot of people traveling almost all the time. People are rarely at home. They're always on training camps or another tournament or finding or outsourcing some randori. Do you think it wasn't necessarily as common when you were competing?
Yeah, but the whole year was completely different because now they have to travel so much more. I started most of the time in the year. I started with a training camp in Austria. In Metersiel, it's still there.
I mean, that's still
and
the
then
same.
you had like a Belgium. You had the Belgium Vise that was like, how do you say it? Not even a Grand Prix, but like one
it was like
really
a
big
open
tournament.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Yes, like a European Open. Then you had Paris. Then you had what did you had? Like you had Munich or where it was in Germany. You had Rome. So that you had like 8 or 9 competitions, and they were all in Europe. And it was all like every week or every once in 2 weeks. But it was all really close. So you could like train in your own club. And then you had to go like on Thursday, on Friday. You went for Budapest or for... So it was all close by. But when you see now all the places where they have to go, so there's so much more time that you... how do you say it? That you spell on... that you spill on traveling
and traveling,
yes, and to find out the right, because you cannot fight like that 1 week somewhere in Asia and the next time in Mexico, for example. So you have to pick out the ones. And that was completely different in my time. And then you also had like, if the Cuban team came, they came in January and they stayed for 3 or 4 months. They stayed in Europe, went to all the competitions. And so it was every week, it was like exactly the same people every week that you had to fight. And now it's completely... Yeah, so it's so more global at the moment.
Now from different teams, there's a lot of like tactics, picking the tournaments or the right ones to try and get more ranking points for even the younger ones and things like this. So
that's what I say in my commentary as well. Sometimes you see, I think the whole ranking, what we have is a good thing, because For me, sometimes I had like World Championship final, and then a week later, the two who were in the final were in the first round at the Grand Slam. And so it's good that we have this ranking, but then again, it's more difficult for people who are new on the system to get out of it. Where you had so much more tournaments in close by, because now also for a lot of federations, it's of course for example the Dutch Federation, it's more easy to bring a complete full team to a tournament in Italy than if we go to Abu Dhabi. So you have to be more specific where to send your athletes, and especially the ones who are not capable of getting out of a quarter because they're not really highly ranked. And then you see a lot of people who are highly ranked because they get their points, for example, from Oceania, or it's completely else to become a European champion, or to become a champion when you're like in South America, or you know. So that it's difficult, and that makes it. Everything is watchable. You can see all the fights. You can prepare yourself on all your opponents much better than it was in my time. But also with all the traveling around, it's also it's. I think it's a lot harder.
Were you a big? You said you kept notes on all your.
I think I was just about to ask this as well.
You said you wrote about every fighter you ever fought. Were you a big studier of as much video footage as you could get, or how did you approach it as an athlete? What kind of athlete were you?
Well, of course, you were watching and then writing down how somebody was fighting, especially also in training camps. You tried some things out and you're watching as if when you're fighting yourself. So you're watching the competitions as well. And I just wrote it down, everything like, okay, so what works and what doesn't work. And now you can see all the fights of your opponents, but still the most important thing is the moment that you grab somebody. You feel like, okay, every time you see somebody doing something, but it's not for you. So, and you feel like, okay, if I put my hand like this, or I turn around the other side, that works. Yeah, I just wrote it down because it also gets in your mind. That's something what I try to tell my own kids and also the pupils from our from our judo club as well, because they're so used to like watch it. Mm-hmm. But if you write things down, it will get into your system. That's what I still believe.
What kind of, in terms of at those training camps, there's one story you've told me with Imre, which always makes me laugh. How were you in terms of your training? Were you really brutal on your training? Were you more focused on strength? And I don't know if you're happy to tell the story about Imre. I think people might find that quite funny.
Yeah. Well, of course, I was a heavyweight and not one of the most heavyweights. So I always like to do judo. And what I said before about the entertaining part. It was always fun to throw somebody in a training camp as well. If you can throw somebody really nice, then that's also a good part. But you had those guys that when the training was from 9 to 11, that they are at 8:30, they're already there preparing taping, and that was not my style most of the time. I was like at 8:30 still in my bed. Okay, here we go again. Yeah. And sometimes it went really well, and sometimes, you had to get all the energy what was left somewhere from you did not know where it had to come from. And that's the story with Imre Sos, of course, also working for the IGF, that most of the time, like on day 3 or 4 of a training camp, when we were tired, we were watching each other like in the morning session, and he said like, you mean number 5? And we were like, yes, number 5, because then I already knew, okay, when it's Rondori number 5, he doesn't want to, I don't want to. So we're just standing like resting for a few minutes. But then we had those coaches who were like, yeah, come on, let's go. And they were like running. And then we came really close to each other and we said, okay, now it's your turn. Now you make an attack. Make an attack. Okay, now you make the attack. Yeah, and it looked like from the outside, it looked like a real hard randori, but it was, just a moment of getting a bit of energy back. Yeah,
it was a good alliance.
Sometimes you have a few of those guys that in training camps that they have the same feeling as you have. Those guys, some of them you always see that they're always prepared. We call them those samurais.
Did you have any who were always had their eyes on you as soon as they came in? They were like,
so I want those 365 a day samurais that you can, like, if you call them at 3:00 in the morning, that they have to be prepared for a competition. I said, I'm always prepared. Yes, no, you sometimes you try to avoid those guys on the training camp.
365 days a year samurai. Love that.
Oh,
yeah,
there are plenty.
But you had a few, like, especially in the start of my heavyweight career, when I still had to gain a bit, and I still lacked a bit of power, and then all those really strong heavyweights was difficult. You had a Turkish fighter, Tataroglu. And, the best part of a competition is that we have only one ippon. So then somebody can throw you for one ippon and then the competition is over. But in the training camp, he can throw you for 10 times. and sometimes that happened. And it took a few years before I was physically strong enough, but also mentally strong enough to fight all those guys. And then after a while, when you're fighting at the highest level, then you're the one who picks out, and you see, okay, I want to fight him for third round. And if you walk to him, you see him like turning around, like, hopefully he doesn't see me. Next, So, and that will always be the same, you're a small fish, bigger fish, and that works on training camps always like this, and that's also a part I really loved, to be honest. If I'm together with my friends, I leave in a few hours with a few friends. We go to Spain for a few days, just nice. For a small holiday. They're all judo people who are still my friends. We started doing judo when we were little kids, and some of them did competitions at the highest level. Some of them, everybody tried to get everything out of his career, and we're still friends. And we're never talking about medals. We're always talking about the stories around the training camps and the competitions and the fun we had, and that's, I think, the most important part of judo. If we're always talking about IGF, the judo family, I think, a sort of family we are.
Yeah. So me and you have spoken about this before, but in terms of looking back on your career, you say you don't speak about the medals with your friends, but do you ever? You've spoken about the fact you Olympic champion, as for all judoka, was the aim, and I remember you saying when you lost the fight in the Olympics, you just didn't even want to keep fighting. You gone into the repechage and you didn't want to keep fighting. When you look back on your career now, how do you feel looking back on that moment, looking back on the Olympic Games and coming away with the bronze medal rather than the gold?
I'm really happy with my career. I won a lot of medals, and then I just lacked one bronze medal at the Olympics and not a gold or silver one, but won all the colors at the World Championships, Europeans, all the big tournaments, and I've seen so many people around me close by and who gave everything for judo and did not succeed at all. Or succeeded, but just a little bit, or had not so much luck, or there's so much that is, how do you say it? There's so many things that have to be in the right place to win the big medals, and for some it could be like a really small thing in between becoming a world champion or an Olympic champion or winning nothing. And so I think that's also keeps you humble, in my opinion. And I'm really happy, really trained hard for it. So yes, my world title really changed my life, to be honest, that I'm still working now for Dutch television, things like that. Of course, I can do. If you cannot present, then it will be over very fast. So I know that I'm capable of doing my job, but still it opened so many doors and really changed my life. Just winning a big title once, so I'm really happy. And there's still people. If I have to do a motivational talk or something like that for a company, and you come inside and they say, please welcome world champion Dennis van der Geest. And the first thing I think, world champion, like 20 years ago. But then again, I was world champion. And so, of course, you're still proud that you made that. But then, I'm not like thinking of this every day or something.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, you had obviously tremendous success in your career, and a lot of people who do have those very high achievements don't necessarily find it outside of judo. So what do you think it is about you, or maybe a persona, that's pulled you through from top level of judo and gone into media and also found success there?
Well, now, for me, the most important thing was when I stopped my professional judo. Most important thing that I needed something that had the same amount of tension or energy, or that feeling inside your stomach that you can you really have to give everything, otherwise it won't happen. And so I was happy that I got a chance, not only in television, but also with music. I already was doing a bit of DJing work. So that gave me every time I had not exactly the feeling of having a competition, but still a bit of, insight that you really want to achieve. And I think that really helped, because if I had to do work after my professional judo career where you didn't have this sparkle, then it would be very difficult for me as well. And that's also a bit of luck, to be honest. I can speak in front of a camera quite easily, so that's then that part of talent. But then still the people have to give you those chances. And I got those chances, and I grabbed them. But it's for so many athletes. It's so hard when you had 15 years of judo at the highest level, because it's such a hard sport. You have to work so hard for it. And not only if you win medals or not, it doesn't matter. If you want to compete, then you know how hard it is, what you have to ask for yourself, for your physical, your mentally. So that helps, because most of them are mentally really strong. But then also, the moment that you stop, that the amount of tension and everything, and the feeling that you're alive, that feeling that you will never get it afterwards. It will never be as present as it was at the moment you're standing all by yourself on a judo mat. And that's really difficult. So that's for a lot of people also on the mentally position. It's quite difficult for people when they did this for years and years to find something where they have the same amount, or at least half of the amount of energy that they have when they were on a judo. Do I have how do you say that I say no, you have to do this or you have to do that. You also have to have a bit of luck, I think. And and people around you that know that it's quite hard, because it's with this whole judo tour we have now, and we say it's a family. You're so in a bubble for years and years and years. The only parts that are really important is the exams you have, and the exams is the competition, and the year or day after you won a medal or you did not win a medal, and then you're going to train again, and you're with your trainers and with your coaches, like, okay, we have to get better in this, the techniques or the tactics or the physical strength or the mentality, things like this. And that's all for years and years. You're only busy with that, and then that's gone. And to find something, what you want to do the rest of your life, that gives you a bit of the same amount of motivation and energy and fun, it's quite difficult.
Yeah.
It's also, but I think one of the things is like finding what you're you found what you're naturally good at. You said you were good in front of the camera, and
and that's what I said. That's also a bit of luck, you know. To be honest, you know, I cannot say like it was like a programmed plan. It was just something. No, like when I started winning medals and there were cameras, I was like, okay, nobody knows anything about judo in Holland, so let's not make it too difficult. So then a lot of times you had like judoka who were like, I scored the Koka, and then I got a Shido, and then I got with an Oso Dagari, I made a Yuko. People like, and I was like, okay, well, the only part that people really understand is the harder you throw somebody flat on his back, the more points you get. And so trying to make it stupid, simple. So that's just something that I thought from the beginning. People have to know, have to recognize me, that I can explain it quite simple. Okay, I have to win my medals. And then when they ask me for television programs, don't show up in your judo-gi. Sometimes I still see it on the internet, because what's the point of that? One of the biggest TV hosts in Holland once asked me if I would come to his show, and he said, "Can you come in your judo-gi? Because otherwise people won't recognize you, you know?" And I was like, so that was in the start of my career. I was like, yeah, but I want people to recognize me without a judo-gi if I want to make a career. So I just asked him. We had like a famous Dutch swimmer, Olympic champion, Pieter van der Hogeband. I said, if you ask Pieter van der Hogeband, does he have to come in his swimsuit as well? Just in his swim shorts. But so this TV host, who is gay, he said, well, I don't mind if we would come in his yeah, okay, but you won't ask him, well. So don't ask me to come in my judo-gi as well. Yeah, well, those are the few small things that I think, okay, I made a few good decisions to get like a completely different career after my judo.
Dennis, thank you so much for joining us. That was really, really, really great. Have a lovely time in Spain.
Yes.
I will see you soon. This month will be Zagreb, Abu Dhabi. I will go there, so probably I will see you there.
Yeah, definitely.
Bye-bye. It was nice chatting to you.
Nice chatting to you, man. See you in Zagreb.
Bye, Dennis.
Bye-bye.